Welcome back to complete our discussion talking about personality and colors. Joining me once again is Dahran Goudeau, a life coach.
Yes.
Let's jump in on our last two colors. This is so exciting. I want to focus on gold. Tell me the characteristics of a gold.
A gold person is very responsible, time management. They have an array of different qualities as far as they're very bold, they're very outspoken. Their time management skills, I said earlier, is they everything is planned. They have a calendar. They know what time. They're on time. They are very great organizers. They work very hard as far as organizing and making sure that everything is set to plan and making sure they get those calls in when they need it. And planning a party, they go to the whole nine. You know, everything they do is they try to strive for excellence and perfect. And so that kind of messes with the other color sometimes, because if a gold feels like you're not doing it right, they'll just take it and do it. And sometimes that's not a team player, but they kind of try to get the job done.
And the way we talked about the oranges and the blues, that could shut down the orange, because the orange likes to go and have no limits, really, and kind of be creative. And if you're taking it away, and then it can shut down the blue if you're not quite aware of that, because they don't feel appreciated, like you feel like there's something wrong with what they did, so they're taking it very
and they
personally.
take it very personal, because they feel like that you haven't engaged them into what you're doing, and then they wasn't doing it right, so you just took it from them and did it yourself. And so that's not good teamwork. But if they all understood their place and their purpose, it works out very well.
So once again, with the goal, you can see the really strong strengths that the goal would bring, but the things they maybe need to work on and consider, because sometimes it sounds like a goal could be considered to be very rigid, not very flexible, too condescending, full of put downs.
That's right.
So let's get back to our other scenario I talk about with children. Let's start with that. Let's say you have a child then that is predominantly gold, home or school setting. How do we work with that child who's predominantly gold?
Understanding that golds can be very bossy and they want everything their way, and understanding to give them those options and let them know that it's not their time to have their way, that they have to be a part of a team, and that they have to be able to share. That is an issue with golds at times, that they don't like to share. They don't like to share their time, and they want to just kind of do it their own way and move on. And so if you have a child like that, you have to really understand and let them understand and know that that's not the time for that, that they need to allow other people to come in, and they need to just deal with it the way it is.
Okay, so you might even with that child let them predominantly or initially put together the structure of something, but then say, but we're going to get input from everybody else on that, because we may want to add or change or do something like that.
Let them be the planners sometimes.
Bring in others for their comments and others.
Have them to write, give them a pencil and paper and have them to write out the vacation or what needs to happen, but you're asking everyone else's input at the same time.
Now, would that work with an adult in the workplace setting who's predominantly gold? Are we going to do the same kinds of things?
We will do the same type of thing with them, because we want them to be a part of the planning. Of course, they're great at doing it, and they're great at making sure that everything is on a time schedule. And so what we will give them is we will give them the opportunity to let them plan, but give them certain limits and let them understand that this is still a team effort, but we're allowing you to be the overseer because you're great at what you do.
Okay, let's look at our last color here. Green.
Green.
Now, what are the characteristics of green?
Green is there are no limits as well. And green, it likes to be out of the box. They like to have a good time. They don't really deal with time management very well. A lot of times parents will consider this an ADD or an ADHD type of child. These are the ones that you give them a toy. They take the toy apart to see how it works, to see what really goes on with it. They like to dissect things. They like to be into education and understanding how things work. And their mind is always racing and thinking of things all the time.
Now, with that, of course, there are the downsides in terms of what you need to strengthen and work on, which would have to be that you can't always have the brain on go all the time.
Yes.
You have to be able to get input from other people and slow down a little bit, because sometimes with the greens, they can be much further ahead in where we need to get or what we're thinking of, but yet everybody else is not there yet.
Yes.
So to allow people to acclimate to that and give their input.
Yes. Green children, I always have said, as a teacher, shut off the lights on one side of the room, turn the lights on the other side of the room, allow the green student not to have to work at a desk because that confines them to a desk. They work better to listen to earphones, listen to the iPod, watch the TV, do their homework, talk on the cell phone, text at the same time. These are people that they're great multitaskers. They are just out of the box and they can do all type of things. I've always seen students work under their desk instead of working at their desk, working on the floor with their blanket and their pillow doing their schoolwork. These are ones that you want to give them games as far as their homework to be able to put it together instead of doing the rigid book work and you have to do it this way because I said so, because that is the worst thing you can do with a green student. They will always rebel.
Okay, and the same thing in the home. So in the workplace setting, how do you do that? And I will admit that my predominant color is green.
Okay. Well, green in the workplace, you have to recognize that they're out of the box and that they can hype everything up and they can go out and they can just go outside and have a great time. And so what you want to do is recognize with a green person, give them those responsibilities that they can actually bring everyone in together and go outside and have a good time, or to come up with crafts or educational games and things like that, because they're not going to do it a gold way. They're not going to go and say that it has to be in order by this standard. And a green person is actually going to be out of the box and they're going to have fun with it. They're going to keep your mind going and having fun and moving. They're more mobile.
And that's the thing too with greens, like with some of the other colors, if you aren't allowed that creativity and people are always trying to impose too much excessive structure where you can't think and be creative and just go with where you are, then you shut them down. Just like you can shut down each color if you're not sort of looking at what their innate qualities and characteristics and what they bring to the table are.
Exactly. And allowing them to understand that it's okay to think out of the box and it's okay to feel the way that you feel, but at this time we have to have the structure intact. But you have to recognize those personalities, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of problems with people not working together and people not getting along and people thinking that you're pushy or you're arrogant or disrespectful or whatever. And all of those things has to be put into play.
Exactly, and using those strengths, because I'll say real quickly as I get ready to wrap up, my lowest one is blue. So I have to always tell the people who are blue, help me out, because I don't remember birthdays necessarily. I don't remember this day or that day, but it's not because I don't want to. It's just not part of my makeup. So
and they love that
balance
because
each
at
other.
that point, then you're bringing them in saying, I need your help. And a blue loves for someone to say, I need your help. I want your help.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
We're out of
you
time,
for
but this was
inviting me.
excellent. I will have to have you back again as we sort of expand our discussion of colors and what that can mean, and look at maybe world leaders and others and what are their colors and why are we where we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, that's our show. For Health Alert, I'm Pam Butler. I'd love to hear comments, suggestions, or questions about future shows. Please write me at Health Alert USA, P.O. Box 50913, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74150, or if you're on the email trail, please email me at healthalertusa@gmail.com. And also visit me on YouTube at youtube.com/Health Alert USA. Take care, and remember, start looking at colors, check out yourself, and then see how you can blend and make just a beautiful array or bouquet. Take care. This program would not be possible without the support of OU Physicians in Tulsa.